This podcast is powered by the pros at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
Hi, James. Happy Friday. Are you working, or is your holiday weekend started early?
Oh, I'm working. I've had a couple Fridays where I've had a little me time, so it's back to work.
All right. Well, welcome back to the office, ma'am. Office right now will consist of some baseball. So
how'd the golf go? Yeah. Did you have any birdies?
So I actually had a birdie putt when we were on the phone. I left it short. I blame the broadcast. I wasn't dialed in enough.
Announcer's curse. I like it.
I shot 76 and I had 4 3-putts. First time on those greens. Was not familiar with them. I had a tough time lagging the ball. So I could have had a really good day, but putting killed me.
Hey, 76 is pretty good. That's what Austin Reeves shot at. He was trying to qualify for the Corn Ferry event. Missed it by 11 strokes, but 76 that's not too bad.
It's almost like him just
we got a group of guys we play with, and the problem is I'm right around that area, but I'm the worst one of the group, so it's always an uphill battle. And Tyler Spoon, he's in that group. We play often. We had a pretty contentious match last weekend, but the ex-Hogs players kind of bring the fire. They want to win so bad. And so it's good because you get away for a nice, relaxing round, but it's terrible because sometimes you leave more pissed than when you started.
I think Mason Molina is the best golfer on this year's team. Who's the best former Razorback baseball player golfer that you've played with?
I think Josh Alberius is the best. I know that him and his brother, or actually probably Nate Alberius, he won the club championship at Chenal. A lot of good Little Rock golfers in Chenal, and he actually was trying to qualify for the U.S. Open. He made the qualifier. He didn't qualify last week. He got knocked out, but those two guys are scratch. Maybe even plus handicap, so they're better than Spoon and I. But I'd say them too.
Josh would fit too, because that's a guy who was a position player and then converted full-time to pitching at Arkansas. So he's got the swing, and he's also, I always viewed golf as a pitcher's game, not a hitter's game. Because the hitters, during their baseball season, hitters stay away from golf. Pitchers go golfing sometimes every single day. I had a pitching coach, Ken Patterson, who played golf every single day, at a manager, Tom Gamboa, that sometimes would play 36 holes a day and then go manage a game. But it's not the hitters that play golf, right?
Yeah, well, I think it's a little bit of a myth. They're gonna, it's going to mess your swing up and all this or that. My pitching actually messed my swing up, so it's the other way around because, with the pitching, I was trying to keep that back heel on the rubber as long as possible because, I'm thinking about driving the hips, so I want to drive the hips with my hamstring and the glutes, so I got to do that through the heel, not through the toe. But now, it's kind of thrown my swing off. So, in hindsight, maybe I'd be a better golfer if I wasn't pitcher, but who knows?
James, the Razorbacks are going into the NCAA tournament with 3 straight losses and losing 4 of the last 5. What's your level of concern going into a regional?
I'd say not super concerned. Best time to lose would be now. I was talking to my wife. It's like, well, if we lose the first one, we really need to just lose the second one. And, Hagan went on, he went short, there that second game, and some other guys got mixed in. I think the offense has shown a little bit of life. It's just been the pitching that's kind of fallen behind. But I think if we can get back into our weekend feel where we've got a fresh Hagan Smith who can give us depth, we've got Gackle who can close if need be, or other guys who can bridge the gap to get to Gackle, win that first game. Now, granted, he may not throw that first game depending on who the matchup is. But I think our recipe that was allowing us to win early on, which is relying on him to get the, at least a win and then putting the pieces together from there, can still work if we can just find another starter who can give us some depth, whether that be Wood or Molina or whoever else.
All right, so that was going to be my next question was, who is it? Gage has shown reason to give him the ball. But then the last time out, yesterday, didn't pitch so well. That's against a really good Kentucky lineup. I think Kentucky and A&M are the 2 toughest lineups that we've seen all year long. So I still think Gage will get it. I think Molina will get a start. And I think he's pitched really well in relief, but I don't think they brought him here to relieve, even though that's where he's looked more comfortable the last 2 times out. What do you think they do with Molina?
If I'm controlling Molina, what I would say is take that mentality and just start with it if you give us 5 instead of 6, or if you give us 4 instead of 6 or 7, then so be it. I think Molina out of the bullpen, that aggressive approach, throwing a little harder, emptying the tank a little bit sooner, I think he's more effective pitching that way. So let's just do that as a starter, and if it means you go 20 pitches less, then so be it. Give the ball to the next guy. I think you got to give him the ball just because he's shown he can get out. And with Tigert and Wood, it's a little bit hit or miss. But look, if he starts and he gives us 5 good innings, and then we got a fresh bullpen who can pick up the pieces from there, and you can win game 1, and then Hagen Smith does the same game 2, you're really going to be set up. From your opinion, do you throw Hagen game 1, or do you wait to see the matchup, or what do you do there?
Yeah, I guess that depends on the opponent and how scary they look, right? Because I want Hagen Smith pitching against the best team outside of Arkansas in the regional. I really do. I think that gives you your best chance to win that ball game. But then that also takes into the idea that whoever starts that Friday, if it's not Hagen Smith, it's somebody who's only made a couple of starts, if it's Gage Wood, or it'd be somebody in Mason Molina that hasn't had a good start. Like, he's pitched well in relief recently, but hasn't had a good start in over a month. So, man, I'm glad Dave's the one and Matt are the guys that are paid to make these decisions, because I could talk myself in circles about this. It's like, this is not the position I thought they'd be in, because starting pitching was the number one strength, and now look where we are.
Yeah, if I'm making the decision, I think if you've got the 1-4 matchup and you've got a team that is, you're not really that scared of, I think Molina has shown enough, and he's shown enough out of the pen, that you let him start, and maybe he's got a short leash. Mm-hmm. You let him start Friday, maybe he's got a short leash. If you need him to come back in 2 days to relieve, he can do it if he doesn't throw a lot. But, if you go out there and Hagen Smith just dominates that Friday game, and then from there you're thinking, all right, Hagen's done. We got to put the pieces together from here, and we don't know where these pieces are going to lie. That's a scary situation, but it's kind of high risk, high reward, because, if Mason Molina goes up there and struggles, and let's say you don't win game 1, then you're really in a bind. So, yeah, it's quite the predicament.
So I remember in the 2015 College World Series team, that's the last Razorback team that had to play in the single elimination round. And I remember a 10-inning, 2-1 win over Tennessee, then the crazy comeback against Florida that went until 1:30 in the morning, and then the team got run ruled 2 games in a row. So I think we got home Friday afternoon. I think we took a bus ride back, got back Friday afternoon to Baum in the middle of a state championship game. What did that team do in the 2 days after? Did you guys go around the facilities? Did you go around the park, or did you just try to clear your mind before you found out where you'd be sent for a regional?
Well, I think I've told you the story before, but, we were playing that game against Florida, and I thought we were going to lose, and my elbow was killing me. And I thought, okay, I can go home, I can get some stim, I can relax, I can try to get ready for the regional. I got to find a way to get my arm through the year. Well, then Bobby Wernes hits the home run. We beat Florida, and we go into the huddle, and he says, Teague, you're starting tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right.
And I came out, I was still going to compete and throw, but I was hurting that game, and I struggled against LSU. We made a couple errors, and they ended up blowing us out. But I remember kind of thinking, if we lost that game, maybe I stay healthy. I don't have that start, and I can continue on. But, the chips fall where they may. When the coach tells you to take the ball, you take the ball and you throw. But I don't hate the idea of losing in the SEC tournament, getting back early, kind of just refreshing. Maybe you don't throw for a day or two, get some bullpens in, have your team meetings, and kind of regroup, especially after losing the last couple. I think more time is better than not here.
There's a severe talent drop-off from who you face in the SEC tournament to who you face on a Friday in the NCAA tournament. And I think that's the case no matter if you're a 1 seed or a 2 seed, and maybe even a 3 seed in some cases. How much does that have to do with winning games? Because the thing that I know is the teams that are showing up next weekend, you're probably going to have a couple of you'll have at least one conference champion, maybe a second potentially. These are teams that know how to win games, which tells me that if you make mistakes, the kind of mistakes that Arkansas made yesterday, you're facing a team that can take advantage of that. And I just don't think Arkansas can play like they did yesterday and get away with it in a regional.
Yeah, I would agree because a lot of times it seems like those 4 seeds are teams that maybe are less talented, but like you said, have won a lesser conference or have some age and some maturity on their team. You know, it's guys who have been around the block. They've maybe been to a regional before. They face good teams. They maybe don't have the record, or they're just not in the conference to be able to be a higher seed. But they're not, you know, teams like a Missouri who's in the SEC who just struggled in that conference and isn't going to go anywhere. They're usually teams that have some experience and know how to win. So I think you're absolutely right. Sometimes you see the name or you see the record, you're the conference, and you think, oh, we can beat this team. But there's a little more to it because, like you said, those teams know how to win. A lot of times they've got some age.
James is with the Teague Law Firm, along with his father, Robert. Teague Law Firm's been around nearly 30 years, best of Northwest Arkansas. James can help with all family law matters, criminal law matters, estate needs. They're a full-service law firm, and you'll talk to actual lawyers. You can call James at 479-877-1688, or you can go online to teague-law.com. James, talking about family law matters, tell me about dealing with standard divorce.
Well, I was thinking about, the transfer portal and the people coming in and out and leaving. I'm not happy with this program or this team. I'm going somewhere else. And it seems kind of crazy, but kind of in the legal world, that's what we deal with all the time. I'm not happy with this partner or this situation, so I'm getting out of here. I'm going to, grass is greener on the other side kind of deal. And, it's kind of the bread and butter of our firm. We do primarily a lot of divorce, family law, child support, paternity actions. And so every day we're getting a lot of experience in that field, looking at division of property, the intricacies of that, making sure that all custody matters are taken care of, making sure child support is properly determined. And so, in this day and age in the baseball world, there's a lot of moving around, but frankly, there's a lot of moving around too on the relationship side too. It's something that we can definitely handle.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.